Stand by to launch FanStream Sports.
3, 2, 1.
Let's start.
Hello, sports fans. Welcome to FanStream Sports. Nothing but pure sports. This is the JP Show.
JP, it is so good to hear you back on the air.
Stand by. Now, here's JP.
All right, welcome into another edition of the JP Peterson Show on this depressing.
Here's what's summed up yesterday.
Oh my God! I might even allow to use that other noise. It might be even more fitting. Yeah, that might be spot on right there. Welcome into another edition. Folks, we're going to talk a lot about Rays baseball today. There's been a lot of chatter out there, other podcasts, and we, unlike other podcasts, will actually mention names because we can do that here. We're not corporate media. We're independent, so we can do that here. And we will because we have no fear. We have no fear. You guys know that. We keep it real here. We are not corporate media. We are the independent voice of you, the fan. And real talk. So we're going to talk some Rays baseball. We're going to talk about the terrible play yesterday, which was inexcusable. We're going to talk about the location of the stadium, which is fairly evident that it's an issue. In case you haven't paid attention, we're going to talk about the fan base. That was also an issue yesterday. I think there is plenty of blame to go around for that debacle at the Slop yesterday. And so we're going to get to all of that. Our good friend Nick Geddes will join us at 10:30. Leo Haggerty will join us at 10:45 to talk USF football with our USF football report. We will take your phone calls. Right, Peter? We have a number.
Absolutely. Yes, we do. Yeah, 727-255-0391. Again, 727-255-0391. Disappointing. What do you think? Can the Rays survive facing an elimination game with Zach Eflin on the mound? But I tell you right now, the more things change, the more things stay the same. And it was kind of like that yesterday with the offense. By the way, somebody has to explain to me, you bring back Jose Siri. Why is he bunting in the situation with two guys on? It's either
not a good day
or
for Kevin Cash
for him. Either he strikes out or he hits the ball out of the ballpark. But I feel much better with him knowing what he's going to do, which is swing away instead of trying to bunt, which, by the way, Jordan Montgomery, great play. He looked like the reincarnation of Cliff Lee yesterday. He
did. Yeah, he did.
Right next to TJ Reeves, and he was getting the yips on it.
Deadline acquisition. Yeah, TJ brought that up yesterday. Post-traumatic stress disorder from the Cliff Lee deal, right? That we didn't get him, they did, and he shut us out. Jordan Montgomery, another deadline acquisition for the Rangers. Go out and spend money, good things happen, right? And that's part of it. You were there yesterday, Peter. You went to the game with TJ and Mr. Reeves. So what was the atmosphere like? Take me through it.
Dead, like the Bats offensively, just a dead atmosphere. I mean, most of the game, I think there was some fans there that were pumped up, but honestly, you could hear hecklers throughout the whole Tropicana field. I mean, it was flat. It was flat like the offense was flat like everything else. And Uncle TJ says it is an indictment on how the downtown area does not work in this market. Now, I'm not going to sit here and bang on the fans because I love the Rays fans here. I think there are a lot of them, but when you give, a community 2 days notice and you put it at 3:00 and we talked about it, school is not out, people are working. Look, I was lucky to get off yesterday because it's my birthday. That's the only reason why I'm able to get off. Everybody,
your other job. Let's be specific, because of course I would have let you do whatever you needed to do.
Of course you would have. But at the other job, when it's sales, you've got to produce. You got to be productive. And then on top of it, once again, we talk about it over and over again. People got to pay rent. People got to, buy things. They can't afford to go out to a ball game sometimes. Now, Do I think if it were in the Tampa Bay area, would it have drawn more than 19,000? Abso-freaking-lutely. Look at Minnesota as one of those examples. So,
all right, I want to divide this up a little bit today for my opening monologue, okay? Because I want to do it in terms of importance. I don't want to, and as many people want to say out there, oh, it's all about you just want Tampa. I have no provincialism in this whatsoever. I've told you people that a billion times. I am a fan for the Tampa Bay baseball fans as a whole, okay? I don't give a rip about I love St. Petersburg. It is a great downtown area. I care about the citizens of St. Pete are about to get boondoggled into funding a stadium up to $900 million of public money. Oh, JP, your numbers are wrong. It's $600 billion. No, that's what the media and the Rays have told you. The commissioners that were quoted in the Times said it may be up to $900 million because we haven't seen public documents. So we don't know what the numbers are, folks. So I'll use the $900 million that the commissioner said it might be up to. So $600 to $900 million, take your pick. We don't know. We haven't seen a public document yet. We haven't even had public discussion. Okay, but I don't want to lead off with that. I want to talk about the baseball first. Then we'll get into location and fans. Okay, fair enough. Because the number one thing to me is the Rays go out and win today. Go out and effing win a freaking playoff game. Go out and score an effing run, for God's sakes. 27 innings, you can't score a freaking run? 34 innings, you've scored one run in postseason baseball? And folks, that's part of it too. That's part of the whole organizational philosophy. We play meaningful games in September. That's what Stu's always said. You know why? Because that's how he makes money. You know what costs a lot of money? Winning a World Series costs money. Paying players that have proven track records as baseball hitters in the postseason costs money. Paying big-time players who have experience that actually get it done in postseason costs money. You know what the Rays don't do? They don't pay their players. And they have tons of money to do it. They just choose not to. So what you get is a bunch of inexperienced players going out in the postseason. Look at that lineup yesterday. A lot of that had to do with injuries. I get it. But if you have a deeper team, you have more experienced players. And maybe more experienced players don't get as injured. I don't know. But all I know is this. The performance speaks for itself. And as John Smoltz has said, and he knows a little something about baseball. This ain't coming from me. Well, I agree with it. It's coming from John Smoltz, Hall of Famer. The Rays have figured out the regular season, but not so much the postseason. And that's because they don't pay their players. And they don't make huge deadline deals. Aaron Savali, nice addition. Has it helped you? Jordan Montgomery, nice addition. Not all deadline deals work out. I get that. But if you do more than one, Scherzer and Montgomery, guess what? You got more depth. And Montgomery shut the Rays down yesterday because he's an experienced player who's been pitching really well. He did a hell of a job. Tyler Glasnow was not great, but he was good enough. He got no help. You can talk about the wild pitches and all that stuff, but guess what? When you give him 4 to 6 outs in errors and 2 runs at least in errors and misplays by Jose Siri, the deep ball that he should have caught, there were plays that they didn't make that they should have made, that they've made all year long. I mean, it wouldn't have mattered in the end because you can't score a freaking run.
Right.
But, man, that was 4 errors for the first time in 407 games.
You have as many errors as hits.
Yeah, and Taylor Walls, who I said, yeah, you got to play him. He has a throwing error. Tough play, but, you got to make that play.
Yeah.
Bad bounce for Yandy. I think it caught off the corner of that crappy-ass turf and bounced on him. So, yeah, that didn't help out either. And what the hell? Jose Siri should not have been in the lineup. The guy hasn't played in 3 freaking weeks. I don't right-handed, left-handed. Put Josh Lowe in the goddamn lineup and put him out in the outfield. Siri was not ready to play. You either have Margot in center or Josh Lowe in center. That's your outfield. Not Jose Siri, who hasn't played in 3 weeks coming off a broken bone.
Airmail.
It's freaking playoffs. And Kevin Cash, what are you doing? First and third, you never bunt. Why are you bunting Siri in that situation? Because you don't think he can catch up with the fastball because he hasn't hit in 3 weeks? Maybe. I just look. I know Josh Lowe's left-handed splits aren't great, but you know what? He's been playing. So you go look at your sheet and you say, oh well, he's only 238 against left-handers. His OPS is 100 plus points less on the. It's still 713, 712 OPS against left-handers, and he's been playing. He's been playing and he's been hitting. Jose Siri hasn't been playing. So are those numbers true if you haven't played in 3 weeks? No. Put Josh Lowe out there and don't have Siri bunting in that situation. It's first and third. Maybe at least he can do is get the ball on the ground. He's not going to get doubled up. Or if he hits it in the air, you're going to score the runner from third.
At least.
Mistakes, managerial mistakes. Pitcher wasn't – I don't want to put this on glass now because the defense was awful. He had to throw 25 more pitches. That makes a difference.
By the way, when somebody's toast in the 5th inning, why is Glass now going out in the 6th when he's complete toast? Bring in your bullpen because, oh, by the way, he comes out the 6th, walks the first 2 guys there, and he's charged those runs. That's on Cap.
Yeah, but that's also Siri's throw there too.
Right.
And the misplay in the throw. So yeah, I don't disagree with that. But maybe he was trying to save his bullpen for the rest of the knowing they weren't going to score a freaking run all day. I mean, that's still a 2-0. That's still a 2-0 game. It's a totally different game.
It's a totally different game. It's a winnable game at that point because you have confidence that you're still in it. 4 runs, there's no way you're going to come back, and of course you're not. But at the end of the day, we talk about Blake Snell. You take him out of what? Game 6. You have an opportunity to win. He's cruising. And it's a terrible decision for
so much of this is analytics driven. The Cash doesn't make these calls. I'm sure that lineup was handed to him.
Yes.
And that's bullshit.
Yes, it's bullshit. You're exactly right. It's freaking bullshit. And this is not going to win you. Analytics computers are not going to win you games.
You gotta combine them with your gut. If you're looking at a page at a guy's numbers against right-handers and left-handers, and you're not factoring in he hasn't played in 3 weeks, what are you doing?
That's the problem with the Rays.
The numbers on the page say it's a good right-hander against left-hander, so I got to put Siri in instead of Josh Lowe. I mean, look at the guy hadn't played in 3 weeks.
Yeah.
He was terrible.
Terrible defensive play, by the way. Can't make the play, bobbles the ball, and then compounds it by airmailing it. Trying to make a throw to third, airmailing it, and causing another run to score. Ridiculous. Completely ridiculous.
Yeah, our loyal listener, Lonnie Wilkins said, let me get to some of his comments here. Then we have Sean McDonough bearing the team, the trop, the attendance, and even Randy's horse was not spared by him. Absolutely. Greenberg this morning on Get Up roasting. We deserve to be roasted, and I'm going to get to that in a second. Roast him, JP. I don't give if there's 10K or 40K in the stands. I'm tired of watching the team fail to deliver. Absolutely. Go out and play. But it has, Lonnie, it has an effect. Look at these other games. Look at the home field advantage that these other teams had yesterday in Minnesota, Philadelphia. I mean, it was dramatic. It was dramatic. Lonnie says, I got chastised yesterday for saying that lineup. Half of them wouldn't start on the Braves, nor would they bat in the same spot in the lineup like they do here in Tampa Bay. Absolutely. 100%. It's all analytics. And yet, I mean, look at that lineup yesterday. There was a lot of young kids in there. I mean, most by necessity, but you know what? Again, you don't go out and make deadline deals. You don't pay players from the very beginning of the season that are experienced players. Yes, they got injuries. Everybody has injuries.
Jose Hot Dog Siri gets snake bit with errors and looked awful. Yep.
Yeah. When you go to scoop that ball, because that's the way you play, and you miss it instead of stopping and making sure you cover that ball, and then you want to make a big play because you haven't done anything and you've already screwed up, and now you're going to try to throw the ball. What a clown show. What a clown show that play was. Yeah. It just made us look stupid.
Pretty much.
Yeah. As you said on Twitter yesterday, let the attendance, despite the handcuffs MLB put on Rays fans, be a red flag to St. Petersburg Stadium. Yeah, I'm going to get to that. 4 errors killed the Rays yesterday, and that's what got the Rangers those runs, bottom line. Absolutely. All right, so first and foremost, we want the Rays to go out and win today and put away a lot of this stuff. But again, organizationally, this is what we were exposed to yesterday. And yeah, I put it up on Twitter. This is absolutely a cautionary tale of why you don't give an owner, a billionaire, $900 million, $600 to $900 million of public money to build a stadium in the same place. And yes, Rick Stroud, I know you can't name me by name on your podcast, but yes, Rick Stroud, who I respect you absolutely. You've done a lot in this marketplace. You've been at the Times for 30 plus years. You know your baseball. You played the game. You and Steve Versnick, I listen to your podcast all the time. I tell other people to listen to your podcast all the time because it's a great podcast. And I totally respect your resume and everything. It clearly doesn't work the other way, but whatever. I can call you out by name but you won't call me out by name. And what I said. So yeah, I said it. And you said, oh, it's not like there's 10 or 15,000 people walking around Tampa that would have gone to the game. That's exactly what there is. And I don't understand why people can't get it. This is not about Tampa versus St. Pete. You're right about that. And absolutely, was the game time bad? Absolutely. Was the late game time announcement bad? Absolutely. Did that have something to do with this? Absolutely. All these things are factors. But you want to just ignore the location? Just ignore it? Of course, it was tough. The economy sucks right now, FJB. The whole thing is awful. That personally affects. And as my friend Zach Blobner, I can mention him, by the way, he's on the radio. I can mention him because he brought this up on Twitter, and I wanted to give him credit for this. 2019, on a Monday at 1 o'clock, 32,000 people. 2011, 2 o'clock, 28,000 people at the Trop playoff game. 2010, Wednesday, 1:30, 35,000 at the Trop. 2008, Thursday, 2:30, 35,000 at the Trop. So, yeah, did the game time have something to do with it? Yes, it did. But we have historical perspective that Rays fans have typically showed up. So what's different about this year? Well, here's one thing that you don't want to talk about, Rick, that we will talk about. It's the owner. People do not want to support this guy. They do not want to put money in his pockets. Look at my timeline. There's tons of people talking about it. They're tired of him running down this marketplace. It's not a major league market. It will never work in St. Pete. We're going to go do the split city. We're going to put up a sign during the playoffs about Montreal. People are pissed, and they don't want to support him anymore. And you think this new deal should have given people, oh, we're going to get the deal done, blah, 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 blah. You know what? People are even more hesitant because they know it's a stupid deal. We did a poll. 57% of people think it's a bad deal and don't want it in St. Petersburg because they know 2/3 of the market is going to be frozen out of midweek games. And my God, like, why is this so hard to understand, people?
The traffic was terrible yesterday, by the way.
The traffic is always terrible because there's no egress in and out. There's one road, 275, one road.
That's it.
Look at downtown Tampa. You have the Selman coming in. You have 75. You have 275. The Selman from both sides. Plus, you have surface roads that you can get at 301, 41. There's tons of big roads coming in and out of downtown Tampa. Not to mention there's going to be mass transit in and out of Tampa. It's the hub. It's the center. This is why it works for the Lightning. This is why it works for the Bucks. St. Pete is not a bad place. It's just bad for baseball. It's bad for 81 games. It's bad for midweek games. And yes, there is 10 to 15,000 more people walking around, Rick, in Tampa. In fact, there's 2.5 million people within 30 minutes. There's 700,000 at most in St. Petersburg. And guess what? You never call out the people that live around the park that don't go to the games. Why is there traffic? Because everybody's coming in. Nobody's walking to the games. Nobody's taking the trolley to the games downtown. Nobody's taking an Uber to the games. Nobody's taking you know why? Because they don't go to the games. The people that live around the area don't go to the games. But you never mention that. It's a terrible location. Most of the people are coming from Hillsborough. Of that 20,000, probably 17 of them were coming from Hillsborough or North Tampa, more where a lot of people live, or North Pinellas. And it takes them 45 minutes to get there as well. On an afternoon game, minutes matter. If I can get off work at 2:30 and I'm in Tampa, I can go. If I get off work at 2:30 in St. Peter's or if the stadium's in Tampa, you can go. There's so many more people. If you have a bigger net to draw from, 2.5 million within 30 minutes, as opposed to 700,000, that's 3 times more people. These are just numbers. It's a failed location, for God freaking sake. And you want to get butthurt about it? It's because it's St. Petersburg? Or I'm not butthurt about it. I'm going to go if they build this new stadium, I'm going to go and I'm going to enjoy it. But for 2/3 of the people, and a lot of the people that can't make it, and all the people in Orlando on my timeline, and Lakeland, and all points to the east, who would much rather have it on this side where the growth is. That's why this is so important, because this deal is not done yet, folks. This deal is not done yet. Okay. And by the way, and for those who say, well, Hillsborough County never put up the money, there's a deal on the table, and there has always been a deal on the table to pay half, and we'll get it done. Now, is there as much money up front? Nope, there's not. There's not a whole lot of money up front. But for the life of the deal in Hillsborough County, the verbal offer that they made to Stu Sternberg, who didn't even listen to it, you know why? Because he wants the money grab in St. Pete. He wants the money grab in St. Pete, get the money up front, sell the team, get the hell out. He's not in it for the long term, but you know what? The long term is best for Tampa Bay baseball fans as a whole, who I am supporting. This is not personal for me. I am supporting the majority of Tampa Bay baseball fans who couldn't get there yesterday at 3:00. Okay? Yes, all these other things are factors. I get it. I'm not ignoring them, but you are. Many people are ignoring all the factors, and the biggest factor, which is location. And it will always be location. So before these cheerleaders in Pinellas and St. Petersburg City Council and the County Commission rubber stamp this horrific deal for the taxpayers, maybe you should take a pause and say, yes, there is a deal on the table. And I told Ken Hagan this, you need to make the deal public. A verbal offer is not going to get it done. They need to make the deal public and expose this and say, look, yes, there's more money long-term in it for ownership in Hillsborough County, because they're protecting the taxpayers. They're protecting the taxpayers' interest and putting the onus on the Rays. Whereas in the deal in St. Petersburg and Pinellas, where you hear, oh, the Rays are going to pay for the cost overruns. Are they? I haven't seen the documents. The Rays told you that. I haven't seen the documents. Commissioners are saying we haven't seen what we've seen. It's $900 million of public money. So listen, I'm just saying it's a cautionary tale. And if you want to continue to look like buffoons in front of the national audience with 19,000, and you're going to build a stadium right next to the failed location for $1.3 billion, and your team's going to come out flat because there's nobody in the damn crowd, you're still going to have revenue challenges because no corporate money is going to come over to St. Petersburg because they can't give away the tickets during the week for their expensive suites and their expensive seating.
Well, that was the other thing yesterday.
It's never going to work long term. It's never going to work long term. If you're a baseball fan of the Rays, you're still going to be saddled with lower payrolls than you should have, even with a new owner who actually would put the money back into the team. It's just it. And so before this buffoonery is done again, before these votes are made, and we still have time to get this, to derail this, I wish that this Hillsborough plan was more public, and fans could say, "Look, Stu, take this. Look, Major League Baseball, take this. This is where it should be." So
that's the other thing we noticed yesterday.
That's all I got.
The corporate sponsorships, the boxes, completely empty. Completely empty. All those boxes up there.
Oh, that were the luxury boxes were empty?
Yeah, empty. I mean, there's plenty of empty seats there, and then you open up the third deck, nothing. I mean,
because people, at least on my timeline, and we've seen this, they don't want to support the owner.
That's it.
And also, we had a caller the other day that said, yeah, the pre-sale, the tickets were $75, and then the Rays start, because they see the sales suck. They finally drop it to $30, so they undercut their own pre-sale season ticket holders, so they can't get rid of their tickets. Look, I'm not saying that Major League Baseball didn't do us any favors with the game times. That sucks. And the economy sucks. But we've done it before. We filled the trop before. But people are sick and tired of the owner now, especially after the shenanigans of the last 3 years. 2019, I was at that game. There was 35,000 people there. But 4 years later, people are tired of this owner. They're pissed off, and they're not going to support him. That's part of it. Nobody wants to mention that, but that's a huge part of it. It's like, why am I going to drive all that way, put money in his pocket when I could sit here and watch it on TV in this economy?
And save money. And save less money. And save stress from being in and out of
How long did it take you to get? Well, it wasn't that big a crowd. It couldn't take it that long to get out, but maybe it did. I don't know.
Oh, yeah. It took about an hour and a half to get out of there. Yeah.
Just to get out of there?
Just to get out of there. Yeah. Hour and a half. I mean, traffic is ridiculous. There's no other way. Like you said, want to go out to these comments here. Thomas says Stu is toxic. Bucks basement. We haven't hit a ball in the postseason in 36 innings. Nothing has been done to fix the hitting on this team. Heads need to roll if we get eliminated now.
Where's the big boppers? Where's the big boppers? Where have you traded for a big bopper? You know, when you want to say Nelly Cruz and it didn't work out, you know, he was at the end of his rope. Let's just be honest. When have you ever traded for a big-time, experienced hitter? Hasn't happened.
Never happened. All right, let's go out to Lonnie here. Believed in the Madden era and Stu got cheap. Now the next generation believed in the cash era and it's wearing off. People aren't paying a premium when they don't get it in return from Stu. Agree. I've always
100%.
said this. Here's a guy that continues to bang on the community saying, I can't sustain. You got to give me money for my new stadium or I'm out of here. Or we can't spend money. Well, if you're not looking to invest in your own product, why should I invest in your product with you?
And people see this new deal for what it is. It's a money grab by the owner.
Yeah.
And they because it's not for the fans. It's not for the fans. If he was going to do something for the fans and do it right, he would take the deal that's on the table in Hillsborough County. And by the way, folks, if one of the big reasons, Rick, that the deal hasn't been done in Hillsborough County is because Stu has never, and I say never, dealt in good faith with the people in Hillsborough County. And it's not just Ken Hagan, by the way. There are other people that are involved in this that are in these meetings that I know that tell me things, okay? And he's never dealt in good faith with Hillsborough County because he knows there's a bigger pot of gold in St. Petersburg, and that's all he cares about. You people are so blind to this. You think he cares about baseball long-term in St. Petersburg?
No.
You think he cares about the city of St. Petersburg? Look at his track record. He's held up with Rick Kreisman to develop that for 5 years. That thing could have been fully developed already with tons of jobs and a convention center and things that are much more important to the people of Pinellas. But Mayor Welch and these people, these county commissioners, they want to be seen as they saved baseball in St. Pete. It's a terrible deal for you, and you're all going to be voted out just like it happened in Miami when people realize what you've done.
He can't bend them over in Tampa. That's what it comes down to.
Exactly.
Remember his comments in 2019 with the Montreal deal, and he was asked straight out, can this area – is this an answer for baseball? I do not think it is. Now all of a sudden it changed. Why? Well, because they got a
mayor in there that's giving away the entire pot of gold.
Everything.
So he can say he's put up affordable housing and by the way, putting up affordable housing around and development in a baseball stadium because those are the folks that are going to go to the games. Come on, it's so political. Why don't you take that money, buy a huge parcel of land? And build real affordable housing for the people, not just stuff it in next to a high rent district of restaurants and shops and a baseball stadium. It makes 0 sense. It may look good on the page, but it makes 0 sense. Take that $900 million you're going to give to Stu and go buy or take some of your city land and put up a nice affordable housing area with a hell of a lot more units. Mayor, that would probably be better for your constituents than building another stadium right next to this failed location. Come on, man. Wake up. You're getting bamboozled, man. You're all getting bamboozled. We don't want the Rays. The Rays aren't leaving. Major League Baseball ain't leaving this market.
No.
All right, we got to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll have Nick Geddes, who literally said, "I got something to say." So we got something to hear. We'll hear from Nick. We'll hear from Leo Haggerty. Your phone calls as well. If you want to jump in, get your comments in as well on Twitter, on Facebook. We'll put them up here. We'll get all the comments in the way we can today. Quick break, 3 minutes. Stay with us. JP here for my good friends at Italiano Insurance, and they did it again. Once again, Italiano Insurance stepping up with the best customer service. I was in a bind. My old insurance company, my auto insurance, jacked up my rates, so I called Charity at Italiano Insurance, and she stayed till 9:30 at night until she got my insurance done. And guess what? She searched all these companies for me. I didn't do the work. She did. Saved me $1,000 on my annual premium. $1,000, folks. That's real money. And that's what you get at Italiano Insurance. Great customer service. And here's another note for you, by the way, with hurricane season up. 40% of people in Florida are underinsured. That means if you have something happen during a hurricane and you need replacement costs, you're going to get 40% less than you deserve. Can't let that happen. Call the folks at Italiano Insurance and get them to help you out in both those regards. They will save you money and keep you insured properly. That's 813-877-7799. Great folks in the community, been doing it for over 60 years. Italiano Insurance, 813-877-7799.
So you're experiencing those feelings of getting older, lower sex drive, fatigue, hot flashes, moodiness, or you just don't feel like you had the vitality you once had. It's a chronic problem here in the United States. You're not just getting old, it's likely low testosterone. Studies over the last 20 years show a shocking decline in younger males aged 16 to 39. Older men have seen a sharp decline as well. So do something about it. Go see my friend Christopher Lugo at Bay Area Modern Medicine. Look, testosterone replacement is not a frivolous treatment. It takes a professional, targeted approach that focuses on total body wellness, vitality, and emotional stability, not a one-size-fits-all approach like many clinics use. They will monitor your blood work and adjust your treatment as needed for optimal results. Folks, I've been on testosterone therapy for over 6 years, and it is a life changer. You will feel and look better than you did 10 years ago. Give them a call at 844-977-3477 or go to BAMMC.com. Tell them JP sent you for priority scheduling. That's 844-977-3477 or BAMMC.com. JP here for the Jeeves Law Group, Jeeves. Call for a free case evaluation, 888-9-JEEVES. That's 888-9-JEEVES. We're local, we're trusted. The law firm brings over 80 years of combined legal experience focusing on clients in Tampa Bay, the state of Florida, and national class action cases. If you're injured, get that free case evaluation, no cost to you. The Jeeves Law Group's focus is on auto, truck, and motorcycle accidents, as well as class action and consumer protection law. Scott Jeeves is a board-certified civil trial lawyer and a certified circuit court mediator practicing in the Tampa Bay area for over 30 years. You hear him on the show all the time. Great guy, big Gator fan, and great for the community. The Jeeves Law Group is a highly skilled team with years of experience that will apply their skills, expertise, and knowledge to assist individuals who have been in an accident with compensation for damages, lost wages, medical expenses, pain and suffering, and property damage. Get that free case evaluation, 888-9-JEEVES. That's 888-9-JEEVES.
Coming back at you. Now, more with JP on FanStream Sports. It's only just begun.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show. We're brought to you by the great folks at the Patio. Always the best place to watch any sporting event. Go by and watch the race today. They open at 3 o'clock, and that's when happy hour starts. So $1 off your beer and wine on the already low prices. It's going to be a beautiful day, so you can be in the outside bar, the inside bar. Really cool place. It's the Patio, 421 South McDill. We'll be there next Monday, as we are each and every Monday from 5 to 7 for a Monday Night Football watch party. So come by and join us. We may still have some Rays t-shirts if they're still alive.
You're right. Exactly. Or going into the offseason at this point. Gee.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's bring in our good friend, Nick Geddes from On3 Sports, who said he had to get some things off his chest about this debacle that was the Rays' Bloody Tuesday.
What's up, Nick?
How are you, buddy?
Oh goodness, yeah, I had to come on JP and Peter because I just my thoughts yesterday. I watched that game. I was working yesterday, so I had to watch that game while I was working. So I had all my thoughts to myself, and I just, why do I do this every year? Why do I do this every year? I love my Rays, as you know, JP, and I try to remain optimistic. Now, did I think this team was World Series material? No, because I just think they're gutted too much in the lineup, quite frankly, to get it done.
Yeah.
But we talked the other day on Monday about how optimistic we were about this matchup. But then I forget this is October, and the Rays offense loves to do a good no-show.
Yeah.
One for 30 or one run in the last 34 innings, dating back to Game 4 of the ALDS in 2021. I mean, really, like that's where we're at right now with this team.
Postseason, yeah, that's postseason baseball.
And listen, I'd love to go on the same spiel, and I know you probably have done it already today about investing into the team and all that. But listen, look at the lineup they had to trot out there yesterday. Look at the bottom of the lineup.
Yeah.
You had to, Margot, Meade, Walls, Siri, who hadn't played in over a month, and Pinto. I mean, that's more than half your lineup right there of guys who it's like,
it's an automatic out.
Games right. And then Yandy.
Well, Margot's one of your highest paid players.
Margot's your highest paid hitter, right?
Yeah.
And then Yandy decides to have the worst game I've seen him play all year.
Yep.
I mean, playoff Randy came out, for a little bit yesterday, but outside of that, and his mom, that was the best moment of the game, to be honest.
It was.
Best moment of the game. But yeah, I don't know what else. A lot of people were pointing fingers at Kevin Cash. If there's anything I'd say, I think your best players should play regardless of matchup. So I probably would have had Josh Lowe in there because
100%.
hit 315 in the month of September. He's been your hottest hitter next to Yandy Diaz, and he's sitting on a bench for Jose Siri, who hasn't played in over a month, and the timing's not
Horrible
there,
decision.
clearly.
Horrible decision.
And then the Rays, they got runners in score position twice, the second and third inning. And what are we doing? We're bunting twice in an inning? Now, don't get me wrong. I like the bunt in certain moments. But the Rays don't bunt. They don't practice it. They never do it. So why are we bringing it out in the playoffs when we finally have runners in scoring position? I'm yelling at my TV. What are we doing here? But no, the on-the-field product, it stunk. 4 errors, most they've ever had in a playoff game. I thought Glasnow pitched good enough to win that game. He got 0 help. And they let Montgomery, who, by the way, I made the comment on Monday. I thought he'd been a Ray killer. I went back and checked it after. Montgomery's ERA against the Rays the last few years is 5.12. This is a guy, they've had his number. And they had nothing for him. They didn't work counts. His pitch count was efficient the entire game. I mean, that was an embarrassing display all around. It was comedy inside the Trop.
I agree with you 100%. But, part of that lower lineup is injuries, but part of it is also just not having a deep team where you pay guys. It goes back to it. If you're trying to get by on the cheap with all these young players, this is what you're going to get when you get injuries. A bunch of kids that have never played postseason baseball. And it bites you in the ass every single year.
It wasn't ideal, though. Okay, let's be honest. It's not ideal that in the same month you have the Wander Franco scandal, you have Brandon Lau go down for the entire postseason, and you have Luke Raley go down. It's hard to plan around injuries happening.
I get it.
Those happen all in 1 month. I don't know what else they can do, but I'm just saying I still expected some fight out of this team, and yesterday they looked lifeless. They looked lifeless yesterday, and so did the Trop, and trust me, I have plenty of thoughts on what happened yesterday at the Trop as well.
Well,
in regards to the
and I think that's part of it, because when you look at the Minnesota game and the Philadelphia game, those places are going bananas. That gives you life. It gives your team life. And I saw some of the comments from the players. They were trying to be, nice, but they noticed it. And you can't tell me that they're not walking around that dugout going, "Look at this. This is ridiculous." And look, trust me, they know the score. You think you ask any of those players, you think they're excited about building a stadium in St. Petersburg? No, they're not. They're not. Every player we've ever spoke with, everyone to a man has said the same damn thing. It's got to be in Tampa. It's got to be in Tampa. And these guys, what do you think they're thinking when they come out and they see before the game, they're warming up and there's maybe 3,000 people in the stands.
Pretty much.
8,
pretty
right?
much. Yeah.
What was it, Peter? You were there. What was it like before the game?
It looked like about 8,000. It looked like a Wednesday night game where the Royals are in town. And 19,704. 1919 World Series in Cincinnati Game 7. By the way, what's the significance of that, Nick?
The
The
Black Sox.
1990, the
Yep.
Black Sox, right?
Yep. Black Sox scandal.
Yeah.
That's where you're at right now with attendance. And you're exactly right. You go in there, and it's about 8,000. And they said it was 19,000 paid. Maybe they paid, but they didn't show up. That's for sure.
Yeah, I saw so much discourse with the stadium, and I was a part of it, obviously, because I turned on ABC, and I'm seeing those crowd shots, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this looks awful. For an ABC, it's just a bad look. And listen, there's been a lot of takes on this. I'll just say, I think everybody is right. Like, this to me, this discussion of what happened yesterday, there's so many different layers to it. Like, I fell in originally to the, it's 3 p.m. during the work week, and they announced the game with 48 hours notice. And listen, I fell into that boat. I work at 4 o'clock during every day of the week. I couldn't go to the game. If I could, I would. And for people that say, well, that's why you have PTO days. I don't know what fantasy land your people are living on, but you can't just put a PTO request in a day before and then be like, sure, go right ahead. So I don't understand that. But here's the thing that boggles my mind. I was never expecting them to get 30,000, 35,000 people yesterday because of these factors. But I was expecting, okay, 25, 28,000. It won't be crazy full, but that's an acceptable number given the situation. Yeah. Not in my wildest dreams or nightmares did I see 19,704. That's when my look on this completely changed. And then I saw that stat of the lowest attended MLB playoff game since in 104 years. That's horrendous. And listen, the thing about this is the excuses that Rays fans were putting out there. And again, I was part of it. I admit it. At some point, the excuse card is up, especially for this franchise. At least I think that's the way it looks in the national perception. Everybody was running wild with it.
Nick, why doesn't this happen with the Bucks and the Lightning? Why do they not have attendance issues? Well, the Bucks have had attendance issues. Let's just be honest about that. But let's just the Lightning are more analogous to the Reds because they have half the games, half the home games, right? So there's more than just 8 regular season games. So I think you should look at the Lightning. And what do they have? Location and an owner that's supported.
Yes,
right? A location and an owner that people love, and the Rays don't have that.
Yeah, yes, and the bottom line is, and I know everybody, the Minnesota game, they played at the same time. They obviously had no problem filling it up for a playoff game. No other team has had this problem. And by the way, this is the thing. The Rays have never had this problem filling up that stadium. Look at
Minnesota.
3 o'clock
They built a beautiful stadium where? In downtown.
I get that. But what I'm saying is, and I had to be reminded of this after the game.
What did the Braves do? They moved their stadium to where their fans are. This is not fucking rocket science.
I get all that. But what I'm saying, what's so different about yesterday is that this team has played afternoon playoff games almost every time they've been in the playoffs. 2019, remember that game against the Astros that we all said was the loudest? You were there. That was literally during the day on a Monday. I remember that game. And they had 32,000 people there. So what has changed where you have a 12,000 drop-off in attendance 4 years later? This is the playoffs.
4 years of the owner telling people that we're going to Montreal, that this is not a major league market. I'm not going to build a stadium in Tampa. I'm going to take all this money up front and steal the money from St. Petersburg. You people are underestimating how much this owner is reviled, and nobody is going to pay playoff prices and put money in his pocket.
But JP, I'm also going to remind you of this because we were at this game together. Do you recall April 13th, 2023, the Rays played the Red Sox on a day game. I think it was like a 1:30 start time. We went to the game to go see history because they were trying to win their 13th game in a row. Mm-hmm. And the attendance was 22,000 with the same situation. People in school, people working, tickets. People in school. This is the playoffs. $30 is reasonable for the playoffs.
It is.
Okay? And the MLB sets the price point, by the way, not the Rays. The MLB sets the price point. 22,000 for a regular season game in April. Okay, with the same exact factors, 19,000 for a playoff game with the same factors. It's hard to argue the numbers.
And the economy. The economy, like James just said, it's the owner who's pissed on their fans for the last 4 years more than he ever has. And the economy, stupid. Like the old political phrase, not personal.
I get it.
It's the
That's
economy,
why I'm saying,
stupid. Yeah.
That's why I'm saying I think everybody's right in some sense. There were a lot of reasons that contributed to it.
Absolutely. I'm not saying it's just location. It's time, but people that are ignoring the location are being a little foolhardy, saying it's not about that. That's foolhardy. It's a lot about that because you have a bigger net. You have more people that can kind of figure it out, but and time matters. Like I said, a lot of people could probably get off at 2:30 if the stadium were in Tampa, and then boom, you're there. But if you get half a day, you get off a little bit early, but you can't do that if it's an hour and a half to get in there. Can't do it. So that affects a certain amount of people.
And I just feel bad for the players. I feel they deserved better yesterday because, like you said, they come out of the clubhouse, they look around, and they see blue seats open everywhere.
It's awful.
What are they thinking? Like, this is the playoffs,
flat.
and this is what we have.
They're flat
crowd, flat team. They go hand in hand.
Absolutely, I totally believe that. So the fans need to, and I'm not absolving the fans either. I'm not absolving. There should have been a lot more fans that would just eat all the things I said, economy, owner, all these other things. We should have enough that we could put at least 25 in there. So I think that, yes, the fans, but I also, again, I can't, because of the economy, because of the time, because of the owner, because of the location, all those things come together in a perfect shitstorm. That's what happens. And maybe could be the name of the movie, the documentary, A Perfect Shitstorm, because that's what this is. It's awful. And this is what you get, the worst crowd since 1990 because of all of those reasons, and all of them are part of it. But again, if you have a bigger net, if you have a much bigger net, 3 times as many people within a 30-minute drive, you're going to get, just by math alone, you're going to get a lot more people who can logistically make it happen, because it's not just the $30 tickets. If you're paying, if you want a box seat, okay, and those are probably what, $175. So you want to, pay if you're going to pay $400 or $500, you want to be there, be there early enough, be able to get your seats, get all the accoutrement. You want to do all that. So it's a confluence of things that screwed it. And I agree wholeheartedly. It affected the play of the team.
I got to read this comment here really quick. Let's be real. Coming from Pinellas to Tampa is just about the same unless you're downtown St. Pete to the Trop. All the congestion and lights make it 13 miles, a 40-minute drive. He's exactly right.
Is he saying people come from Pinellas to Tampa all the time? The problem is, folks, most of the people do come from Pinellas, right? But actually, those people that go to Lightning games and go to Bucks games don't go to Rays games. Some of them do, but a lot of them don't. Most of the people that go to Bucks games and Lightning games live in Hillsborough County. The people that live near the stadium go to the games. That doesn't happen in St. Pete. That's the problem. You not only are you on the edge of the market, but the people that live around the 700,000 and the people that support St. Pete as a site never take those people to task. They never say, "Hey, people of St. Pete, you live right next to the stadium. You're the ones that should be going." They don't go. Would they have 300 season ticket holders with St. Pete addresses a few years ago? 300. Wow. Come on, man. So
and no corporate sponsorships once again.
Yeah, and which is the lifeblood of your team, by the way, in terms of revenue. The premium seating and the luxury boxes are the lifeblood of your local revenue. And you're never going to get that in St. Pete because the businesses aren't there and they can't give away those midweek tickets. You're not going to pay for a box Monday through Thursday. It's going to cost you tens of thousands of dollars over the season, and you can't even give the tickets away because people can't get there during the week. It's not worth it. So it's just, I hate it. I hate it because it's embarrassing for my city. That was an embarrassment on so many levels yesterday, and I hate it. And I don't want to make the same mistake. Does that make me a jerk? Does that make me, a provincialist in Tampa? No, I don't care. What I care about are the baseball fans, the fans of this area, and the fans to the east that want to be part of it. That's what I care about.
Yeah, and hopefully, today, Zach Eflin, by the way, going to the mound tonight, he was brought in for $40 million for a reason.
Let's
go. A game like this.
Let's
go. Get this to game 3.
Let's go. All right, Nick, thanks for jumping on. I won't even let you recount your UCF disaster.
I don't need to. I've had enough disasters this week. I need something good, please. But thank you for allowing me to come on and get all this off my chest today. I need it.
Great job. Great job.
All right, great stuff, Nick. Appreciate you as always. All right. So we want to go out to a break really quick. Let's go out to a break.
Yeah, let's hit a break real quick. Leo Haggerty is on deck. We're going to talk some USF football. Then we'll get back to this discussion as well in our second hour. I'm trying to chase Orestes Estrada down and wanted to get his thoughts on this. So hopefully he can join us in the second hour. Quick break. And big thanks to all our sponsors, Jeeves Law Group, The Patio, Bay Area Modern Medical Center, Italiano Insurance, The Golden Diamond Source, Extravaganza Productions, and American Mortgage Services. Back in 3.
Coins sitting around the house. Well, the Golden Diamond Source will purchase a variety of different types of coins and bullion. Their gold buying program includes sterling silver, silver, platinum, and watches. They also accept unusual pieces that other jewelry stores do not, such as gold bars and sterling silver flatware. The list of items they do accept is far more extensive than those they don't, so check it out. While you're there, you can check out the largest collection of any family-owned jewelry store in the country, especially with summer coming to an end. The holidays are right around the corner. Never too early to start your holiday shopping, especially if you're planning on getting engaged or have any birthdays or anniversaries coming up. Come on in and find out what buying jewelry should be like with an expert staff of gold and diamond jewelry enthusiasts. And the best part, they treat you like family. And if you're worrying about price, don't. The Golden Diamond Source has something for everyone's budget. They even have a layaway. If you stop in and get your favorite piece now, you can have it paid off by Christmas. Plus, you can even finance your purchase with 0% interest for up to 5 years, and you can get a $5,000 diamond for only $83 a month. It's the greatest folks in the world, Julie and Steve Weintraub, the Golden Diamond Source, 3800 Olmerton Road, always online at thegoldendiamondsource.com.
JP here for my good friends at Italiano Insurance, and they did it again. Once again, Italiano Insurance stepping up with the best customer service. I was in a bind. My old insurance company, my auto insurance, jacked up my rates, so I called Charity at Italiano Insurance, and she stayed till 9:30 at night until she got my insurance done. And guess what? She searched all these companies for me. I didn't do the work. She did. Saved me $1,000 on my annual premium. $1,000, folks. That's real money. And that's what you get at Italiano Insurance. Great customer service. And here's another note for you, by the way, with hurricane season up. 40% of people in Florida are underinsured. That means if you have something happen during a hurricane and you need replacement costs, you're going to get 40% less than you deserve. Can't let that happen. Call the folks at Italiano Insurance and get them to help you out in both those regards. They will save you money and keep you insured properly. That's 813-877-7799. Great folks in the community, been doing it for over 60 years. Italiano Insurance, 813-877-7799.
Well, Fitz, the mortgage guy, did it again. A listener heard his ad, was going to another big bank, but called Scott Fitzgerald at American Mortgage Services of Tampa, and Fitz saved him $618 on his monthly payment. Are you kidding me? Folks, that's big money. Rates are going up, they're going down, they're going all over the place. Scott will shop your loan and save you lender fees and get the best rates. Email him, scott@amstampa.com, or call 813-294-7595. That's Fitz, the mortgage guy. Lots of stuff going on right now, and these rates are going all over the place. You need somebody knowledgeable in the market that will work hard for you and get you the best deal. That's my man, Scott. He's done 3 loans for me, done thousands of loans for local folks here, works with a lot of the coaches and players in the area. He's the guy. 813-294-7595, or go to scott@amstampa.com.
Let's go. Right now, back to the show with JP on FanStream Sports.
All right, we'll take a little break from the Rays discussion here to welcome in our good friend Leo Haggerty of Amped Up Sports, covers USF, and boy, the Bulls are on a roll, Leo.
They are, and I'll tell you what, that's a tough rant to follow there, JP. You guys were rolling, but real quick, one last thing about the Rays. Did they pick up that announced team at Ferg's before the game? Because you and I and Peter could have done a better job, and I'll give you a perfect example.
Oh, my God.
The line drive that hits Glasnow, all they could say was, oh, it prevented a run. How about it's a double play ball if it goes through? Because there's walls right behind it. They didn't even talk about that. So, You know what?
It was
definitely got
110
the
miles
force.
an hour off the bat, though, Leo. We got that 15 times. Yeah, Wiles is standing right over second base. He's going to catch that ball. It might even be on a line drive. I don't know, as hard as it was hit. So, yeah, you're absolutely 100% right.
And then how about this one? Yandy Diaz isn't familiar with playing first base. What? He plays first base all year long. What are you talking about?
Yeah, who was that announce team? It was Sean McDonough.
So stick to college football or whatever else you do.
Jessica Mendoza, was she there?
Who?
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
there was the reporter was there too. Was it Kirkchin? Tim Kirkchin, I believe it was.
Yeah. It was definitely.
I think we lost Leo. There you go. Go ahead, Leo.
Yeah. Well, Leo, you realize you can't say that about an announce team that includes a woman. You can't say that they're bad. You can't do that.
Yeah, Pete,
you understand? You can't do that.
When you're 70 and retired, you can say anything. Let's be real.
We keep it real here, bro. Bad is bad. Bad is
Absolutely.
bad. Yeah.
And you know what? Let's talk about good is good. USF. When's the last time we talked about 2 wins in a row, over 40 points on offense the last 2 games, and a defense that is just flying around?
Listen, it's been a long time. Been a long, long time. And Alex Golesh has to get tremendous amount of credit for what he has done in 1 year. He has transformed this team with the portal. He went out and got some guys, and they're playing some ball. 2-0 in conference. Could they freaking win this conference?
Absolutely. No doubt about it. And you know why, JP? This is not a one-trick pony on offense. Give an example. Let's go to the Rice game. Simmons, 8 targets, 8 catches, sets a school record for yards. Brown has 1 catch, 30 yards on a yak. The following week, Navy says, hey, we're not going to let you get deep. We're not going to let that happen. Well, you know what? Simmons only gets 5 catches, short yardage. Yep. Brown, he gets 7. And again, they take what they give them. And I'll tell you what, everybody criticized Coach for going for it in 4th down. You got to understand, they're going to live by the sword. They're going to die by the sword. If it's 4th and 1, I don't care where it is. They're not punting the football. They're going for it. They think they can make it. So, you know what? With that mentality, a year ago, if they're down 14-0, that team doesn't recover. They're on the bus. They're ready to go. But you know what? Give Todd Orlando a lot of credit on defense, the coordinator. They are really, really hitting people. That's for sure.
Leo, do you think that attitude from the coach has been a direct reflection, on the players? Do you think that's rubbed off on these players?
You know what, Peter? He brought up a great point yesterday. He said, do you want to go somewhere or do you want to do something? Mm-hmm. He said, I came here because I wanted to do something. I just didn't want to go somewhere. And again, all these guys that came in, there were 2 groups, the ones that stayed and the ones that came in. They had to buy in, but a lot of the guys that stayed, and he made this point, they didn't just accept me right away because they wanted to see, is it the same old thing or is this guy going to back up what he said? They're starting to buy in. And Peter, when they buy in, look out because they've got athletes all over the place.
Yeah, especially Brown at quarterback. I mean, he's been tremendous lately. What do you think the turning point was? Do you think it was during that Rice game in the second half where he's getting more comfortable with not only the system but also his wide receivers, namely, Sean Atkins, who has a big day, over 100 receiving yards, and even I get him a chance to sing in the press conference, and he's singing about 1738. So, what do you think it was for Brown?
You know what, Peter? I think it was 2 things. One, it was looking at the Alabama film and to see, hey, look, there's not that much I need to do differently, but I need to trust my offensive line.
Yeah.
Which is good. And the second one, in the Rice game, he trusted his eyes. Rice said, okay, we're going to take away the short stuff. Well, guess what? It's bombs away. Navy then said, you're not getting deep. We're going short. And he trusted his eyes. So, yeah, the Rice game, a big, big plus for Brown.
Leo Haggerty joining us here, Amped Up Sports, covering USF. All right, so they go to Birmingham this week, and I believe Trent Dilfer's head is still on fire from last week. If you have not seen the video of the UAB coach, our former quarterback here, Trent Dilfer, losing his effing mind on the sideline, you should watch this. just for comedy's sake. I thought Trent was going to be a good coach because I think he's super smart guy and he's a great motivator. But if he can't be composed on the sideline, it ain't going to work. I don't know what the hell happened last week, but that was ugly. But now here comes USF with a chance to go 3-0 in conference at UAB. Yeah,
and you know what, guys? I'm going to throw this name out. Jacob Zeno, quarterback for UAB. He's completing 75% of his passes. He's got over 1,400 yards. He's completing 31 passes a game on an average. I'll tell you what, this team scores. And I think Trent Dilfer's biggest problem is he can't stop anybody. But they're going to put up points. And you know what? What I give USF credit for is you take away the Western Kentucky game, only one team got to 30, and that was Navy with that last-ditch touchdown, which really didn't matter, But they're going to have to play some defense because this guy can spin it. That's for sure.
What were you more surprised about, Leo? The fact that the defense was able to get off the field versus Navy, 3 for 14, holding them there, or the fact that Brown, once again, he threw from the pocket, 10 carries for minus 27 yards. You expected him to run the ball, but that just wasn't in the game plan. So what were you more surprised about? Brown and less rushing yards, or the fact that defense is able to get off the field against Navy 3 for 14? And do you think they can do that versus UAB on Saturday?
Peter, Leo's axiom number 2. You know the first one. If a quarterback can throw it where he wants to, when he wants to, and to who he wants to, you're getting beat. The second one is you sell tickets with offense, you win championships with defense. Getting off the field was huge. That was huge because Navy's a whole different animal to play. You got to trust your eyes. It's all about not getting fooled. You got to play your assignment no matter what. And when you're playing the option, it's real simple. Tackle the fullback, hit the quarterback in the mouth, and run to the football when he pitches. That's it, and the defense did a great job of that.
All right, so I'm looking at UAB here. They beat North Carolina A&T in their opener 35-6. Lost to Georgia Southern at Georgia Southern 49-35. Lost to Louisiana 41-21 at home. Lost at Georgia 49-21. And then lost at Tulane 35-23. So they're on a 4-game loser, but they are scoring points in record numbers. And I would have to say that I would take the over in this game, number one. But it's also a time where UAB is looking at this on their schedule. They've lost 4 in a row, and their back's against the wall here in Trent's first season. So it's just going to be a very spirited game with a lot of points scored. What do you think? I guess it comes, in games like this where you have 2 great offenses, what it comes down to? Who can get stops? You don't have to get many. Both teams are going to score, but if you could just get a few stops, and that's something that USF's been able to do either through interceptions. They've had, they had another, two defensive touchdowns in this last game. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I mean, they're getting off the field with big plays.
Yeah, and the guys, the easiest way to figure out who's winning the game in the third quarter is see who's the quarterback is the cleanest, because that's going to be huge.
Yeah.
What's the big difference, JP and Peter, from last year to this year with USF? The size of their defensive line and the pressure they're getting on the quarterback. That's huge, and they're going to have to get pressure, but they're going to have to get pressure with 4 guys. They're not going to be able to bring 5 and 6 because Zeno will just nickel and dime them to death, and that's what you can't have. When you look at UAB, they're looking at this a game they can win because they're thinking, you know what, we can throw this 60 times, and that's okay because he'll complete 45 of them, and that's a lot of passes. That's a lot of time you're putting that ball up, and somebody can take a shot at it. But, yeah, JP, who can get stops? That's the big thing. Get off the field.
I think also the biggest difference is Coach Golish, right? I mean, they're buying in. You've been around this team. Once again, do you sense a difference, not only in the players' attitude, but just the building as a whole with his presence, with his charisma, with his energy?
Yeah, and again, I can understand these guys, that they're on a different guy again, show me what you got. And he's basically walked the walk and he talked the talk, and he backed it up. That's huge. And again, Trent Dilfer has a big problem at UAB because the players didn't want him as the coach. They wanted the interim coach to stick around. So, he's trying to build that culture up there. And you know what? When you got a team down, get them down. Think about this, guys. If USF wins this game and they go in next week and beat Florida Atlantic, they're 4-0 in the AAC, sitting on top. When's the last time we even thought about that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. This is a renaissance that is awesome for USF. And, we were looking at their schedule. Obviously, this is a completely winnable game against UAB, especially the way they're playing. But you look down the schedule the rest of the way, you got FAU, who's terrible, not great. UConn, who's in the bottom 25 as well. Memphis, pretty good. Don't know much about Temple and UTSA. Charlotte, not great. They at this point, you got to say, Leo, that the Bulls should be going to a bowl game this year at the very least, right? I mean, that's in the bank.
I got a better one for you guys. How about 7-1 in the conference? And again, you know what that one is? Temple has been a house of horrors up in Philly for this team. And that's going to be my first question to Coach Golish. I said, hey, no surprise. You haven't played well in Philly and the weather hasn't helped you. But the good news
they got
is,
Temple at home, though, right?
No, they got Temple at home, but they got to go to they got to go to University of Texas San Antonio. Yeah, they're playing.
Yeah,
that's going to be tough. But
9 o'clock game. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's a Friday night. Now you get into a different dynamic. But
yeah, true.
The good news is, like you said, JP, they don't have to go to Philly because that has been a house of horrors for them. But you know what? 7-1 is doable. And you know what? That gets you to a pretty darn good bowl game.
Yeah.
Because now you're looking at 9-3 at worst, maybe 10-2 if you have a good one.
And I'll tell you right now, if you keep on winning in this conference, maybe the ACC comes calling, especially with possibly Clemson or Florida State, because you become more attractive. And people want to say, well, the ACC. Look, the ACC is still the ACC at the end of the day. If you're invited to one of those big conferences, salute yourself, salute USF. So if you continue to win, continue to take care of your business, it looks more attractive for USF. So,
and you know what, guys? Let me throw this out at you. SMU came in to the ACC, and they're not even taking a piece of the TV money for the first 10 years.
You know why?
Nothing. You know what that's costing them? $50 million. Because all they're getting from the AAC is $5 million a year. On year 11, guess what they'll be getting from the ACC? Anywhere from $80 to $100 million.
Wow!
And that's why they said, "Hey, let me in."
From what I understand, they have a very rich benefactor, SMU grad, that's part of the Saudi National Fund. So they're gonna get money. That live golf money, that crazy Saudi money, and they're like, "What? Get us into a platform of a Power 5 like the ACC. We'll take care of the money part of it with the increased exposure in Texas and all the other ways that we can make money, not just through grant of rights." So they've got ways to make money outside just some television revenue. It's a whole new world. It's a whole new world in college football because of NIL and transfers and. It's weird how SMU is doing it, but it's interesting. Here's another thing for USF. We talk about SMU. They're at 3-2 and overall 1-0 in conference. They don't play SMU. They don't play Tulane. I'm talking about USF. They don't play some of the better teams on their regular season schedule, and they're going to beat up on each other. So if they can go 7-1 in conference, you know what they could do, Leo, as you well know, they could host the conference championship game. At Raymond James Stadium. How about that?
That would be ideal, and that would be the time where, hey, USF fans, you got to fill that place then, because there's no excuse, none, for that happening. Because, as we say, if you win, they will come. Well, guess what? They're winning. Now it's time to come.
Well, make it a primetime game. Don't make it, 3:30, 4 o'clock, so you don't have to go.
It'll be primetime. And here's the other, right. We can't have an afternoon game. Nobody will show up. You know what else they should do, though? They should get a corporate sponsor here locally to buy like 30,000 tickets and hand them out to people because, with the economy being bad, maybe that's a way to really, make some hay in this marketplace, or USF finds some benefactor to buy up a bunch of tickets. I know we're getting way ahead of ourselves, but that would be fun. That would be really, really fun to fill that place for a conference championship game. And God, I hope people would come out. Just, for God's sakes.
Yeah, and again, there's no excuse. It's either going to be a Friday or a Saturday, depending upon when they decide. And you know what, guys? Last thing, and I know this is a little off the subject, but you know what? The NCAA better decide real quick what to do with Washington State and Oregon State, because it's the Pac-2, but they still have the name. Yeah. They may jump in with that Mountain West and now call it the Pac whatever, and they still have an automatic berth in this new idea. Now, I don't know if you see this, but they have taken that vote and tabled it to make sure, because they want to get rid of the Pac-12 because they only got 2 teams. And if they go to the Mountain West, well, they're going to say that's not really competitive. But I think the Big Ten makes the move and says, okay, Washington State, Oregon State, come with us. Now it's the Now it's the Power 4, and that's where it needs to be.
Super conferences, like we said 10 years ago. Here it comes. Get ready, folks. And that's probably the way it should be. But where does FSU and Clemson lined up? That's the big question. Is that going to be Big Ten? Because a Big Ten,
they're going to stay ACC because the money's going to get bigger once they go. And again, guys, when they go,
Clemson and FSU are not staying in the ACC, partner. I will bet you some more chicken wings on
Here
that.
we go. We're going to double or nothing on the chicken wings.
Freaking way. No way.
Well, here's why, JP. When they go to the 12-team playoff, that's 11 games. Now, all of a sudden, you jump from $500 million to around $2 billion a year. So now they're going to be able, and the money that the ACC is saving with SMU, Stanford, and Cal, guess where that money's going? Florida State and Clemson.
Well, it better.
Oh, yeah. Hey, you got to take care of your Clydesdales. And those are your Clydesdales.
Well, the ACC has never really been keen about that. They are, they want all these other teams that don't bring in half the notoriety of FSU and Clemson in the eyeballs they want to enjoy all the spoils and the money, but they don't have the recognition. They don't spend the money to make the money. So that's a whole nother argument for a different time. But we know this, Leo, it's a whole new world in college football, and the USF fans better be thankful that there is a transfer portal and there is NIL money, even though they're not big in that just yet, because South Florida is going to benefit from that tremendously because of their location. And if they can get into decent conference, if they can get that ACC nod, which I don't think is crazy. I don't think it's crazy.
Nope.
They're suddenly going to be a very, very attractive team and well-deserving of some fan base.
Especially when you're the 8th largest TV market in the country. Hello.
Yeah. Or I think it's 11th now, but that's pretty
good. Well, if you just take away some of those like Dallas, Fort Worth and that, and you just look at Dallas, or you just look at Fort Worth and that. But if you look at combine markets, they're 11. They're St. Pete and Tampa.
It's still pretty damn good. Pretty damn good. Should draw more than 10,000 people to your football games. That's for damn sure. But again, here we go with the economy in our fan base. All right, Leo, tell everybody how they can find your content.
Hey, go to Amped Up Sports, Amped Up Sports 1 on the Twitter. I'll get ready to post my Screaming from the Cheap Seats today. Hey, Leo's Losers doing pretty well with the NFL. I'm 11-1 there, and I think I'm 13-2 in college. So, yeah.
Oh, damn, you're making money. Well, if it's Leo's Losers, are you picking the losers?
I'm picking the team to lose, and I'm only using the money line. But the key is you can't pick a team that's over 10. Anybody can pick a team that's a 28-point favorite. But
exactly.
It's got to be 10. It's got to be less than 10-point spread unless you're picking the underdog. That's interesting, guys. But, go there on Saturday and Sunday, and you'll get my picks.
All right. Sounds good. Thanks, Leo. Appreciate it. All right, we'll do a quick break. We'll come back. We'll reset some of the Rage stuff. I want to get to some Bucks talk as well and some Lightning talk. Well, I guess we don't need a new goalie. The guy we got's got 2 straight shutouts in the preseason. Johansson, holy crap.
Yeah.
We'll talk a little Lightning hockey when we come back, some Buccaneers stuff, interesting stuff on Luke Gedeke. And guess who's going to the Rays game today? I'll save that.
Okay.
Buccaneers related. So, quick break. Stay with us.
Do you have any old coins sitting around the house? Well, the Golden Diamond Source will purchase a variety of different types of coins and bullion. Their gold buying program includes sterling silver, silver, platinum, and watches. They also accept unusual pieces that other jewelry stores do not, such as gold bars and sterling silver flatware. The list of items they do accept is far more extensive than those they don't, so check it out. While you're there, you can check out the largest collection of any family-owned jewelry store in the country, especially with summer coming to an end. The holidays are right around the corner. Never too early to start your holiday shopping, especially if you're planning on getting engaged or have any birthdays or anniversaries coming up. Come on in and find out what buying jewelry should be like with an expert staff of gold and diamond jewelry enthusiasts. And the best part, they treat you like family. And if you're worrying about price, don't. The Gold and Diamond Source has something for everyone's budget. They even have a layaway. If you stop in and get your favorite piece now, you can have it paid off by Christmas. Plus, you can even finance your purchase with 0% interest for up to 5 years, and you can get a $5,000 diamond for only $83 a month. It's the greatest folks in the world, Julie and Steve Weintraub, the Gold and Diamond Source, 3800 Olmerton Road, always online at thegoldendiamondsource.com. Hey guys, are you experiencing those feelings of getting older, lower sex drive, fatigue, hot flashes, moodiness, or you just don't feel like you had the vitality you once had? It's a chronic problem here in the United States. You're not just getting old, it's likely low testosterone. Studies over the last 20 years show a shocking decline in younger males aged 16 to 39. Older men have seen a sharp decline as well, so do something about it. Go see my friend Christopher Lugo at Bay Area Modern Medicine. Look, testosterone replacement is not a frivolous treatment. It takes a professional, targeted approach that focuses on total body wellness, vitality, and emotional stability, not a one-size-fits-all approach like many clinics use. They will monitor your blood work and adjust your treatment as needed for optimal results. Folks, I've been on testosterone therapy for over 6 years, and it is a life changer. You will feel and look better than you did 10 years ago. Give them a call at 844-977-3477 or go to BAMMC.com. Tell them JP sent you for priority scheduling. That's 844-977-3477 or BAMMC.com. JP here for the Jeeves Law Group, Jeeves. Call for a free case evaluation, 888-9-JEEVES. That's 888-9-JEEVES. We're local, we're trusted. The law firm brings over 80 years of combined legal experience focusing on clients in Tampa Bay, the state of Florida, and national class action cases. If you're injured, get that free case evaluation, no cost to you. The Jeeves Law Group's focus is on auto, truck, and motorcycle accidents, as well as class action and consumer protection law. Scott Jeeves is a board-certified civil trial lawyer and a certified circuit court mediator practicing in the Tampa Bay area for over 30 years. You hear him on the show all the time. Great guy, big Gator fan, and great for the community. The Jeeves Law Group is a highly skilled team with years of experience that will apply their skills, expertise, and knowledge to assist individuals who have been in an accident with compensation for damages, lost wages, medical expenses, pain and suffering, and property damage. Get that free case evaluation, 888-9-JEEVES. That's 888-9-JEEVES.
Coming back at you. Now, more with JP on FanStream Sports. It's only just begun.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show. I'm Peter Blake, along with the great JP Peterson. Open phone line.
Thanks, man.
Absolutely. 727-255-0391. Again, 727-255-0391. Do the Rays get it done today? I'm going to put out a poll question about 5 minutes. Who's more to blame for the low attendance? Is it the fan? Is it the location? Or is it the not only the early start time, but also the late announcement by Major League?
Add owner.
Okay.
Hate the owner to that.
Hate the owner. We'll do that. We'll definitely put that up right now.
Maybe not hate the owner.
Hatred for the owner.
Won't support owner. No money for Stu. Nah, it's good. I'd just say yeah.
Okay.
Won't support owner.
Won't support owner. All right. We'll put that up there on the JP Peterson Show Twitter feed. Right.
Won't support Stu. Well, actually, let's make it. Let's name names here. That won't support Stu.
Okay.
Well, I'll be interested to see how many people say that.
Well, I'm going to do it right now. Let's see. If we can get some votes during the show as we speak. So
guess who's going to the game today? According to Tricia Whitaker, and she's never wrong, by the way.
Oh yeah, she's always on it.
Baker Mayfield.
Really?
Yeah. If he brings, is an offensive line will double the attendance.
Yikes.
At least he'll maybe have Tristan chug a beer, an $18 beer, and maybe we'll get a little flow going, flow going in the joint.
Well, I tell you right now, you want to let's go ahead and transition into what Pat McAfee had to say the other day, because we talked about at the beginning of the year how national media was not only down on this Bucs team, Sports Illustrated, 2 wins, Peter King, but also Baker Mayfield, and how now it's kind of changed. This is what McAfee had to say the other day on his highly popular Pat McAfee show on ESPN. Here we go.
Hey, don't look now. Okay, Bucks. We both took them last week in our predictions. I think because we respect the hell out of the Bucks defense, which proved to be a weapon. Obviously, the Bucks defense and the way Bowles plays and everything they got going on down there. Sweet. Baker Mayfield has been a reborn quarterback down there in that Bay of Tampa. Honestly, this team is seemingly going to be the NFC South representatives, and Baker Mayfield is about to have a 10-year career as a Tampa Bay Buccaneer. All the stuff that happened before Tampa, there's a chance that we're never even going to talk about it because what Baker's potentially going to be able to do down here in Tampa. AJ, you've always been a massive supporter of Baker Mayfield. I think you like his moxie and the cut of his jib. What have you seen out of him that makes you think like, hey, this is a perfect spot for him down there in Tampa?
Yeah, he just needed another chance, I guess, and he needed the right people around him. I guess they're doing whatever they can to like empower Baker and let him be him. And we've heard people. I think Troy Aikman came on the show last week and said Baker's playing the best, like when Baker is being himself and he has that moxie that we're used to, that fire that he always had when he was in college, and obviously at moments in the NFL. But then look at these receivers. I mean, guys are making plays for him. He's finding he's converting third downs. He's taking care of the ball for the most part, and he's doing the right thing, man. Like, I think it's fun to watch somebody that most people wrote off and say, hey, this guy he's not going to be a starter again. And now look what he's doing.
It's very similar to what happened with Geno in Seattle.
Yeah, it is.
Right?
Yeah.
Geno, and I think it's the same. I think it's potentially OC from Seattle. I think there's a chance.
Oh, that's in Tampa Bay.
I think.
Right.
I think. I'm not my brain. I apologize, Tampa. I didn't do enough research on you guys before the season started because, to be honest, I don't think we had a lot of hope for you guys.
No.
Which is why this is awesome. Which is why we need to talk about it. But it's like Baker fits in the scheme. Mm-hmm. He has the moxie back. Right, go ahead.
Canales was the Seattle Seahawks passing game coordinator from 2020 to 2022.
Yeah, so he literally last year with Geno, we see this. We're back better than ever. Everything that was being projected about Geno coming out of college, it took a few years, almost a decade, but here we are. We're figuring it out. It's almost like same things happening with Baker down there in Tampa, which is it him maturing? Is it the system? Is it the setup? What do you think it is, D-Bud?
I think it's all those things. And he has talent around him, too. Godwin's healthy. He's playing good ball. Mike Evans, he looks like he needs to get that kind of Fitzgerald in Arizona treatment. Just give him a lifetime contract. Let him play in Tampa as long as he wants to. But Baker's been taking care of the ball. That was the knock on him. And converting on third downs, keeping those chains moving. So when you have a good defense like that, once again, when they're on the field, they're coming and playing good ball. And the Saints, they're no slouches on defense either.
There you go.
Good stuff you digged up there, Peter. Nice job. And it's always interesting to hear national people talk about the Bucs and what's going on down there because, I mean, there's nothing that you heard there that is startling that we haven't talked about here, but it's nice to hear them finally get their due. And we've said a lot of this. A lot of it is Dave Canales. And, it's funny, before the season, I'm like, at some point, Dave Canales is going to be a head coach. And now there's, PFF has him on the radar as the next hot head coaching hire. And it's all about results. When you do what they did with Geno Smith, who, by the way, has continued to have success. So is it Dave Canales or the offensive coordinator there, whose name I can't recall right now, but he's doing a hell of a job. And Canales learned a lot from him, learned a lot from Sean McVay, and Canales did a hell of a job. We said this on Monday, man. Look at as I charted all the first down plays. There's such a variety of first down plays. They mixed the pass and the run, but not just, regular runs. There was the end around jet sweep to Devin Tompkins using his speed. There was for God's sakes, there was a double pitch pass by by Chris Godwin. There was a quick little flip pass to Raheem Jarrett. A lot of different types of runs too, not just the outside zones and some inside counter traps that they ran, pulling guards and pulling tackles. So there was a variety of things, and it just keeps the defense off balance. And one of the things that the Bucs are starting to do now is these long 9-minute drives, 17-play 9-minute drives. They've had one of these long drives in every one of their wins, and that's not by coincidence, folks. That keeps the defense fresh. It keeps the defense off the field, keeps the other team's offense off the field, right? Mm-hmm. So you're scoring points, you're eating clock. That's the formula for the Bucs to win 26-9. That is the perfect game plan. Get a couple of turnovers, stay positive on the turnover side, and don't get a lot of stupid penalties. Don't get crushed in the kicking game, which is all these mistakes they made against Philadelphia, by the way. But these are the times they've won. They've got these long drives, and that's how you keep teams off balance with this play calling. I mean, it's such a departure from last year. I mean, my God, night and day. And we told you this was all going to happen, folks, in the preseason. We told you this. We said Baker's going to be good. I predicted 9, 10, 11, maybe even 11 wins. Baker's going to have a good year. This is not a surprise to me. And I think a lot of it has to do with the personnel on his team. My concern was the offensive line, which is still a concern. But Gedecke's playing way better. And again, I probably dumped on Gedecke unfairly last year, but I said it right in the beginning. You're asking this guy who's not a great athlete. He's not a great athlete to switch to left guard from right tackle. That was a bad idea in the very beginning. And the Bucs need to own that. Whoever's idea that was a stupid idea. And now he's back at right tackle, and he's much more in tune to playing there, and he's playing good football. Cody Mauch at right guard has not been great. He has not been great. He's graded out very poorly. You put on the tape. Hainsey has not been great at center. Losing Ryan Jensen was a kick in the nuts.
Oh yeah.
If they had Ryan Jensen right now, and Gedecke's playing better, and I would moved Hainsey maybe to right guard, or I still think we have a better. I'd still play Nick Leverett at right guard if I could right now. He's better. He's better right now than Cody Mauch, but I get it. You're trying to, he's got to learn how to play. Cody has a better upside. Maybe that's what they believe. So whatever, they're playing good enough football, and they're going to get better because this offense is still just in its infancy. Baker is just getting used to this offense. And I think, they're varying their weapons. They're getting Tompkins involved. They're getting TP involved. Hopefully Evans can come back after the bye week. We're still a little concerned about the hammy, right? So, trending up. Bucs are trending up, and it's fun that the national. Hey, we got flexed to 425 for God's sakes. Let's not forget about that. This Lions game just got flexed, so that's a big deal. It's a big deal.
I want to go back to this clip because I meant to post this as a reel, but this is you talking to Trevor Sikkema, and it makes so much sense if you think about it. Let's go back to that really quick.
This was last week.
Yeah, this was last week. Here we go.
Trenches in general, offensive and defensive line. It kind of hints to this team being closer to a rebuild than a winning window. Now, again, going back to the top of the show, I'm not going to say that this team's going to be a pushover because they certainly aren't. When the secondary is fully healthy, they've got some dogs. Of course, Levante David and Devin White, right? The receivers are fantastic. But, JP, you know this. Everybody knows this. Football is won and lost in the trenches. It is won and lost up front. And until you have solidified good play from both trenches, I cannot officially call a team a winning window type of a team. So that's what puts Tampa in an interesting spot to where, let's say Baker Mayfield plays decently well, maybe enough to get another contract with him, maybe something like a 3-year deal. Are you comfortable enough with where your trenches are and will be going during that 3-year contract window for a guy that you're going to pay a decent chunk of change to justify it? And I think that's the long-term question that needs to be answered with Tampa, because there is still work to be done in the trenches. And until you really shore those up, is signing a quarterback to even like a 2-3 year mini deal,
right,
that you want to be doing.
So, and that to me makes all the sense in the world, because you want to go with the rookie, you want to develop, but also you're kind of like, okay, we're in the win now mode. So if that trench play continues to be better, because we agree that it was a lot better than it was against the Eagles, for the Saints. Against the Saints, it was a lot better. I think it's going to continue to get better because these guys are going to get more comfortable. They're going to gel. My dad used to say it all the time. Pete, you got to give them opportunity to gel. They're going to gel together. It's going to be better, and this offense is going to be that much better. But, I mean, Trevor brings the point, and you bring up the point. I mean, right now, what are you trying to be? Are you trying to be a win-now team, or are you trying to, go for the future and develop? And I think they're kind of trying to do both.
Well, I think, unless a week makes a difference, And when you look at this offensive line last week, I don't think anybody was saying Gedeke's playing great football, but he went out there and did what he did against Cam Jordan. And you're like, oh, wait, okay, now wait a minute. So we do have a solid right tackle. And again, I'm not crowning the kid just yet.
Right.
But that was a very encouraging performance in just his fourth game at right tackle. Luke Gedeke handled Cam Jordan pretty damn well. So that is extremely promising. So if you're saying, okay, maybe we fixed right tackle, right guard, we got a high draft pick. We have, so how is he going to develop? If he develops and cut him out, develops into a really good right guard, okay. Now you're looking at, because your left tackle he's already the best left tackle in football.
It's ridiculous, right?
As Jason Light said, the only person in the building that didn't think he could play left tackle was Tristan Wirfs.
That's it.
Which is, because he's a perfectionist. But I mean, he's already got the highest pass blocking rate. The dude's a freaking, as they say,
we remember the story.
The alien.
But you remember the story in the offseason, how he actually had to get mental counseling. I mean,
oh my God.
What are you talking? You're like the best guy. You're the best offensive lineman on this team. There was no way that it wasn't going to work in left tackle compared to the human turnstile that is Donovan Smith. I mean, anything. You would be better than the human turnstile named Donovan Smith, who, by the way, is getting away with murder.
Right.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Me on a stadium rant and you on a Donovan Smith rant. We could just put that on rinse and repeat, right?
That's it.
Yeah. So look. So I mean, so you're looking at the trenches a little differently. I mean, Hainsey, Hainsey's a little weird this year because Hainsey played so much better last year than he's playing this year.
Right.
Like you would have expected him to progress. He's not. He's regressed.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's injury. I don't know if it's what it is, but he has regressed. So you have some question mark at center. They might start looking at Nick Leverett at center. If Hainsey continues to play this poorly, maybe they should look at Nick Leverett at center. Just saying. So the offensive line is still, that's a work in progress. That could get better, vis-a-vis what Trevor said, because I agree with what he said. Now, defensive line wise, Kalijah Cansey. Okay, we have not seen Kalijah Cansey. We've seen him play 10 snaps, and I think he made a difference on 3 or 4 of them. The dude is going to be a really good player in this league. I firmly believe that.
Yes.
So if you got Vea and Cansey can become a really, really formidable duo. Now you look at the outside. Yaya Diaby showing some flashes. Can he be that next rush end? But you still, on the defensive line, JTS, I'm about done with him. Unless he shows me something the next 4 to 5 games, which I don't think he's going to. You still need another premier pass rusher. You need another outside crash because Shaq is not getting any younger. And, if I look at Shaq this whole year completely objectively, played, it was a complete no-show against the Eagles. I had the huge play, the game-winning play, which was awesome. He flashed a little bit last week, so he's got to get going a little bit, I think, to become that 19.5 sack guy, obviously. So, yeah, I think the jury's still out on both lines. There's some promising stuff there, but they got some work to do. There's no question about it.
Let's go out to Richie P here. Here's a question. A lot has been rumored about Jensen retiring at the end of the season. If they sign Baker and there is a need, what are the chances of him coming back? And, of course, we learned, a couple months ago they redid that contract. So do we assume, JP, and you've got sources in this direction, that he's going to retire, or do we think he'll actually come back? And if he does come back, does he come back because of Baker Mayfield?
I think he's done. I think this is a career-ending injury. Stem cells or no stem cells, surgery or no surgery. Just the way he has described it, he's got that pocket of cartilage issue that it really can't surgically repair, at least at this point.
Hmm.
So I think just knowing Ryan as I do, he's kind of moved on in his life. He's getting into business. He's got a great young family. I don't think his wife is too keen on him playing anymore, to be quite honest.
What do you have to prove?
And I'm not blaming her. If I were her, I'd be like, yeah, come on, honey. You got the ring. We've got all the money we need. You're into business. You got young kids. Let's call it a career and have a great life. And who could argue with that, right? Who could argue with that? If I were her, I'd want the same damn thing.
Happy wife, happy life, by the way.
Exactly. So, so my gut feeling is he's probably done. And I don't think if there's somehow the Bucs could get out of paying a lot of that money, I think they'd rather start over at center, to be honest. He's given us some great play and was obviously a huge part of that Super Bowl team. So good on you. He'll always be, held in great esteem with Buck fans, or certainly should. So yeah, he's, I just gut feeling is he's probably done. And, the Bucs could use that money in other areas for sure.
Sure,
Yeah.
absolutely. All right, let's go out to NFL power rankings here. They got the Bucs at number 11. First and foremost, is that too low? Should they be higher at 3-1? What do you say about that?
It's fine. They're irrelevant anyway. Power rankings are irrelevant.
Right.
As far as your team goes, nice to see that they're getting a little respect. I still don't think they're getting a whole lot of national respect. I think people are still kind of let's wait and see, and they're still, still kind of out on Baker. They're still not convinced. And the Bucs have to do their job. They have to, follow up a 3-1 with another 3-1 or 2-2. Don't collapse in the second half, then the first half means nothing, right? The first quarter means nothing if you collapse in the second quarter. So they've got some winnable games here. I mean, they're not. It's going to be a tough win. Hey, the Lions are coming here. That's a game. They're a good football team. That's a toss-up game. Go make some plays and win it. You're not winning at Buffalo. You're not beating the 49ers most likely. But this schedule really sets up now for 9, 10, 11 wins.
Yeah,
I mean, my 6.5 betting over the 6.5 looks pretty damn good right now.
Oh, so, I wish I would have taken that bet. It's hard to proclaim the Buccaneers as the best team in the NFC South, but they are 3-1. First and foremost, why is it hard to proclaim them the best team in the NFC South?
The Saints don't impress me. They didn't impress me at all.
At all. I mean,
Dennis Allen's a clown as a head coach. He's not getting any better.
No.
Their offense, whether it's Jameis or Carr looks like damaged goods to me, even more so now. Even before this shoulder surgery, he looked like damaged goods. So I don't see the Saints really doing anything outstanding. They're a good football team. I don't think they're much worse than the Bucs. The Bucs got, they played one of their better games. But Atlanta, what about, Atlanta losing 23-7 to the Jags in London? The London games are a little weird.
Soccer, by the way, because you got at the controls Desmond Ridder, who I could go on a rant about him. I've been saying all offseason, and this is always my biggest point of contention. They should have went for Justin Fields because he's homegrown kid there. I thought it would have worked out.
Should have drafted Justin Fields when they could have.
Right, exactly. And instead you go with Desmond Ridder. And by the way, you could have pursued also Lamar Jackson. That was a possibility out there. And you went with this guy. And he's not an NFL quarterback and will never be an NFL quarterback.
How do you know that? He has small sample size, a very small sample size. I'm not going to look. I don't. Do I think chances are better than not? He's going to be a legitimate starter. No, at this point, no. But I don't think you can write him off. But he started 7 games in his NFL career.
He's got Kyle Pitts. You've got Drake London. You built the offensive line. I mean,
they weren't using Kyle Pitts before he got there. So they still haven't figured that out. That ain't Desmond Ritter's fault.
Why is that? Is that because Ritter can't get him the ball?
Coaching.
Well, obviously, it's something. But again, to me, I think they would be a lot more successful if you don't necessarily go with him. You go for another quarterback, a veteran quarterback, if you will.
Chances are it's going to be a better situation for them. But listen, right. I ain't here to help the Atlanta Falcons, but I also not going to write off Desmond Ridder. I still think he's got some skills. Let's see him play a full season as the starting quarterback before we completely write him off. That's all I'm saying.
All right, that's a fair.
Chances are you're right, because most guys aren't great quarterbacks in this league. There's only 10 to 12, right, that we think are legitimate starters that you would want to keep around. So anytime you say this guy's not going to be one, your chances are you're right.
I'm going to write that down. You just said I'm right here on October 4th at 11:39.
I said chances are you're right.
Okay,
get it right. Get it right. Write it down correctly.
There you go. James says Harry the Greek at least had one pick. That seems correct. Derek Carr is damaged goods. James, I don't know if you paid attention, but Harry the Greek went 8-1 last week. I mean, the only one he missed was
he said 8-0.
Yeah. Oh, well, you missed the Giants game. I think he went with the Giants.
Well, that was this week.
Yeah.
Well, I guess it was Monday night. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
So 8-1. I'll give him 8-0 if you want, but I think it was 8-1. But
it's 8-0 through Sunday.
Through Sunday, yeah.
Right. So
and he'll be on your Bet Your Ass segment tomorrow here on the JP Peterson Show. Going back to the power rankings, they're 2-0 on the road. That includes a huge victory over the Saints in their pocket. The question might not be if the Buccaneers are a good team, but who in the NFC South is better. If nothing else, it's a great start for Baker Mayfield and the rest of the team. So
yeah.
I mean,
everything's trending up for the Bucs. If you're a Bucs fan, if Mike can get healthy for this Lions game and they can go to 4-1 with a win over the Lions, who's a playoff team, by the way.
Yeah.
I mean, sky's the limit for this team. I mean, I still think they're limited by their trench play. I still think they're limited. I don't think they're elite in the trenches. I think the Eagles certainly showed that. But doesn't mean in a playoff game, you can't make a couple of plays that make up for that, right? Hell, even in the Eagles game, we could go back to 5 or 6 plays. If Mike doesn't drop those 3 balls, which were all crucial, they made a couple of bonehead plays in that game that could have turned the tide. I still think the Eagles were never going to lose that game, but that said, we've seen it happen before in the NFL, so it can happen.
All right. Speaking of relationships here that may not last for long, Travis Kelce on his podcast.
Mr. Pfizer?
Yes, Mr. Pfizer.
Mr. Pfizer?
Yes. New Heights podcast with his brother Jason says about the Taylor Swift coverage, they're overdoing it a bit for sure. He also tells his brother they're just trying to have fun with it. NBC flashed the Swift in the suite of MetLife Stadium 17 times during the Chiefs' 23-20 Sunday night win over the Jets. Damn, that's crazy. That's like once a drive. Mom told me everyone was enjoying themselves. He also says they're not there to get thrown on TV. You never know. You get caught throwing down a big old cheeseburger and you look like an idiot. There are certain things you don't want to be on TV at all times. But he also said that the female viewership has increased for the National Football League for Taylor Swift. So what do you think of these comments? And what do you think about the whole analysis of, do you ever think that Taylor Swift is going to be caught with a cheeseburger? I feel like she needs to eat a couple of cheeseburgers.
Yeah, that would
at this point.
That would definitely help her. Maybe not, or maybe not. I'll say this: they got 27 million viewers. 27 million viewers. It was the second largest watched game this year, and I think it was plus 10 million on the female side. Here it is: 27 million viewers, making it the most watched Sunday show since Super Bowl in February.
Wow.
Saw a surge of more than 2 million female viewers. At its peak, it was a whopping 29.4 million viewers were watching the game, including a 53% surge among teenage girls, according to Nielsen's vast national data. NBC, which leaned heavily into Swift's appearance and cut away to her live shots throughout the game no less than 17 times. By comparison, the 2022 World Series commanded less than half the audience at 12.8 million viewers.
Wow.
Got to get Taylor to start dating Randy Arozarena.
Well, there you go. Exactly.
More than 19,000 will show up at the trial.
It'd be amazing. You just have Taylor Swift at every sporting event, right? I mean, you start paying her money for that also, just to show up at.
But here's the thing. Does the NFL honestly think this has staying power? No.
They're
think
taking
those
advantage
girls are tuning into Sunday Night Football next month or next Sunday? No.
Yeah.
Unless Taylor's there. And I just got news for you. Based on history, she ain't going to be with Travis Kelce very long.
That's
Maybe
it.
after her world tour comes out in theaters and the album drops, 1989, the remake, then maybe that, maybe that relationship will come to a close. I mean, seriously, he's playing football in Kansas City. She's doing her thing on a world tour. When are they even going to see each other? What are we talking about here?
Is he distracted? Is the team distracted because they did have problems with the Jets? Are they?
The calls that the officials are giving them will make up for that distractedness. So they won't lose games as long as she's around.
There you go.
Yeah. I think Mr. and Mrs. Pfizer will have their time. So,
Pfizer, jeez.
With all the information that's out there, how do you do that? How do you tell kids to go do that and people to go do that? Beyond belief. I don't care how much money they pay me. I'm not doing that.
No.
You do a little research, boys and girls. Do a little bit of research. We ain't going to go into a rant here, but just do a little bit of research beyond watching CNN and you might find out something. All right, a quick break. When we come back, I want to get into the Lightning, who have done a fantastic job in this preseason. Vasi who? Man, let's go. Back at 3.
Well, Fitz the mortgage guy did it again. A listener heard his ad, was going to another big bank, but called Scott Fitzgerald at American Mortgage Services of Tampa, and Fitz saved him $618 on his monthly payment. Are you kidding me? Folks, that's big money. Rates are going up, they're going down, they're going all over the place. Scott will shop your loan and save you lender fees and get the best rates. Email him, scott@amstampa.com, or call 813-294-7595. That's Fitz the mortgage guy. Lots of stuff going on right now, and these rates are going all over the place. You need somebody knowledgeable in the market that will work hard for you and get you the best deal. That's my man, Scott. He's done 3 loans for me, done thousands of loans for local folks here, works with a lot of the coaches and players in the area. He's the guy. 813-294-7595, or go to scott@amstampa.com. Have any old coins sitting around the house? Well, the Golden Diamond Source will purchase a variety of different types of coins and bullion. Their gold buying program includes sterling silver, platinum, and watches. They also accept unusual pieces that other jewelry stores do not, such as gold bars and sterling silver flatware. The list of items they do accept is far more extensive than those they don't, so check it out. While you're there, you can check out the largest collection of any family-owned jewelry store in the country, especially with summer coming to an end. The holidays are right around the corner. Never too early to start your holiday shopping, especially if you're planning on getting engaged or have any birthdays or anniversaries coming up. Come on in and find out what buying jewelry should be like with an expert staff of gold and diamond jewelry enthusiasts. And the best part, they treat you like family. And if you're worrying about price, don't. The Golden Diamond Source has something for everyone's budget. They even have a layaway. If you stop in and get your favorite piece now, you can have it paid off by Christmas. Plus, you can even finance your purchase with 0% interest for up to 5 years, and you can get a $5,000 diamond for only $83 a month. It's the greatest folks in the world, Julie and Steve Weintraub, the Golden Diamond Source, 3800 Olmerton Road, always online at thegoldendiamondsource.com.
JP here for my good friends at Italiano Insurance, and they did it again. Once again, Italiano Insurance stepping up with the best customer service. I was in a bind. My old insurance company, my auto insurance, jacked up my rates, so I called Charity at Italiano Insurance, and she stayed till 9:30 at night until she got my insurance done. And guess what? She searched all these companies for me. I didn't do the work. She did. Saved me $1,000 on my annual premium. $1,000, folks. That's real money. And that's what you get at Italiano Insurance. Great customer service. And here's another note for you, by the way, with hurricane season up. 40% of people in Florida are underinsured. That means if you have something happen during a hurricane and you need replacement costs, you're going to get 40% less than you deserve. Can't let that happen. Call the folks at Italiano Insurance and get them to help you out in both those regards. They will save you money and keep you insured properly. That's 813-877-7799. Great folks in the community, been doing it for over 60 years. Italiano Insurance, 813-877-7799.
Pure Sports. JP is back on.
Welcome back.
FanStream Sports.
On this absolute, what do we even call this? Hump Day Wednesday, just awful day. Terrible Rays hangover. But hey, there's a new day. We have a new game coming up today. Zach Eflin. By the way, see if you can find the lineup and see if they actually have somebody who can hit in the lineup today.
Yeah, I'll try to find that. But
Josh Lowe might be added to that lineup.
It would be nice. I got a message also from Uncle TJ there. If Harold Ramirez is the DH, they're wrong because he had some terrible at bats. I mean, for a guy that's a DH, made no contact at all. They definitely need maybe another DH. But going out to the poll here that I just posted, who's more to blame for the Go Rays low attendance for Game 1? Fans, 14.3%. Start time, 71.4%. And I Hate Stu, 14.3%. Location has no votes at this point. 7 votes, 2 days left. Get your votes in here on the JP Peterson Show on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it. So right now, overwhelming is the start time.
I will retweet that and see where that goes.
Okay.
All right, so they had almost as many fans at the Amway Center last night, 17,000, as were at the Rays playoff game.
For a preseason game. For a
preseason game. For a preseason game in Orlando, almost 17,000 fans there as the Bolts won it 2-0 behind the great Jonas Johansson.
Whoa!
Who has now seen 67 shots and allowed exactly 0 goals. 0 goals. 2 straight shutouts. 4-0 over Carolina on Friday and a 42-save shutout. 25 saves last night, including 5 power plays by Florida, who had most of their starters in there. According to Edward Encina, because I didn't see a lot of the game, Johansson didn't face many grade A chances, but everybody's playing strong defense in front of him. And that's it, right?
Mm-hmm.
What have we said? We've seen it all. And this might be really become a blessing in disguise, because what is Cooper always trying to get his team to do? Play defense.
That's it.
And when Vassie doesn't start, normally they play much better defense, because he's whether you want to admit it or not, these guys that played in front of Vassie for so long, they tend to take chances because everybody wants to score goals. Everybody, the defense wants to jump into the play whenever they can. Everybody's going to give that little extra, to maybe I'll stay down here just a little bit longer because we got the greatest goalie in the world back there. Don't worry. Doesn't matter how many odd man chances he gets. He's going to keep us in the game. And that normally was what happens. So now maybe they learn to play a little bit more dogged defense in front of Johansson, who will likely be the starter for the opener on Tuesday. So, hey, maybe they become a better team. Maybe they become more of what Cooper wants. Defense first, and let the offense come like they did last night. Couple of power play goals. Nick Paul got one. Who got the other? Tanner Janot, who also beat the hell out of somebody like he's prone to do.
Beautiful.
160 penalty minutes last night between the Panthers and the Lightning.
They hate each other. It's definitely a rivalry at this point between both.
Oh, God.
Teams. They hate each other. It's always been like that, whether both teams have been good or not. And you're exactly right. Defensively, you got to give the effort. You got to get down blocked shots. You also can't allow players to just hang around in the net. Even with Vasilevsky, what would happen, because you get those garbage tips, and anything can happen if a player is allowed to stay in the crease all night long. It's just not going to work for you. So you got to definitely eliminate that. And you're exactly right. This is what I say. This may be a blessing in disguise for this team, because they have to be better defensively. So when Vazzy does come back, then you can put that same type of effort in your even better team, because defensively we know you can kind of be a little bit lax when you have Vazzy behind you.
Yeah, so Alex Barboulay had a nice night. This is his 6th camp with the Lightning, so it's about time that he steps it up. So we'll see. He's trying for one of those 1 or 2 forward spots that are going to be left probably up for grabs right now. Austin Watson, who had a fight last night, brings a little physical presence. Gabriel Fortier, one of the other ones, and Walteri Marella. Those are the guys that are fighting for those spots, according to Edward Encina of the Times. So we'll see how it all works out as we get closer to the go time on next Tuesday. So
All right, update on the lineup here. According to Mark Topkin, Diaz leading off, Yandy Diaz, Randy Arozarena second, Harold Ramirez, to the chagrin of Uncle TJ Reeves right there, DHing at third, Josh Lowe right field. That was the change right there.
Okay, I like it.
Peritis, as you would say, third base following Lowe. Manuel Margot, center field. Of course, Curtis Mead, second base.
So no Siri.
No Siri. Yep. Agree. Hey, Siri, don't throw the ball.
Hey, Siri, sit down.
Yeah, sit down. Walls following Mead there. Of course, Mead had a hit yesterday. I believe also Walls had a hit. And then,
sorry about that.
Exactly. And Pinto at catcher at this point, who also had a bad throw yesterday. Defensively, just not there. And look, if your bread and butter for the Rays is pitching and defense, and you fail, and you know you're not scoring runs, it's going to make it that much worse. It's going to make it even more difficult for you to win this game. So hopefully the Rays offense comes to play today. You got to get some runs. You got to do it early. Don't wait until the later innings. This is not a regular season game. This is a postseason game. Who's on the bump today for Texas?
Evaldi, right?
Evaldi, yeah. Yikes. Former Ray, by the way.
Yeah. So we'll see. I'm glad Siri's out. I still think Walls is the answer at shortstop. I don't have a problem with that. He got a hit yesterday, so that was a bonus. They just got to play a clean game, like you said, and get off to an early start. Score some freaking runs for guys. They just need that big hit, man. Just Rosarena had a double yesterday, but you need a bomb. You need a bomb from somebody today early on, just to get the crowd going, get everybody going, get Eflin rolling. Win this game and then come back on Thursday. And I might try to get to that game on Thursday. I might try to get there on Thursday.
Savali pitching, you have confidence, and if he doesn't pitch well, then you got to yank him out early and maybe put in Zach Littell. I mean, that's the advantage the Rays have, but you got to get to game 3. You got to win this game first and then attack game 3. And it, again, starts with scoring some runs, putting together some at-bats, working the pitching count, because they did a terrible job of that yesterday. Credit to where credit is due. Jordan Montgomery looked like the second coming of Cliff Lee, but you still got to work the count. You can't be swinging at gopher balls or golf balls, with the golf swing. You just can't do that. It's not going to be successful for you. So, goodness, score some runs. Wow.
Yeah, and let's hope. I mean, I don't. I saw some people looking at the seating chart and what's available ticket wise, and it seems like we're going to get a repeat of this today. I don't think there's going to be many more than 20,000. Maybe some people lit a fire, but we'll see. But I think it's going to be another embarrassment if they lose both of these games. If there's a repeat of today in any fashion of what we saw yesterday,
was Cash in danger?
No, Jesus, that's the stupidest thing ever. I mean, stop, people, stop.
I mean, it's been thrown. I mean, what do you do?
Yeah, you guys cannot cherry pick a couple of decisions and say that a manager's in trouble. For F's sake, he's the AL Manager of the Year 2 times. He won 99 games with a $22 payroll and 900 injuries. For F's sake, will you people shut the F up about that? That is so stupid. You know nothing about baseball if you're talking about Kevin Cash being on the hot seat.
Yeah.
Come on. Yeah. I mean, it's just are there some big time? Did I agree with the Siri thing? No. Guess what? That might not have been his decision. That might have been we got right-hander on left-hander, so no question about it. Got to have a right-hander. Doesn't matter. This guy hit 315 in September, and this guy hasn't even played. This guy's right-handed, that guy's left-handed, so we got to go with that. I mean, so effing stupid. My God.
The way you say that, I feel like that's what's going on there in the front office. And you got the Batman red phone. You remember the commissioner?
I'm not saying I was channeling my inner Peter Bendix, but I'm just saying that there's,
you have to go a little bit lower with your voice there.
How the hell?
Not lower.
How the hell?
Higher with your voice.
I'm not going to put that. Now, Cash asking Siri to bunt, maybe that was Cash giving a finger to the front office going, you're going to put this guy in my lineup? Yeah, I know he can't hit a fastball because he hasn't played in 3 weeks. I'm going to make him bunt. Maybe. Who knows? I don't know why Kevin Cash would call for a bunt there. That's out of character.
Great
That's
play
out of character for him,
by the way, too.
Yeah, give them some credit,
Yeah, I got to
that ball gets down. That was a hell of a. That's a hell. Now he had tried to bunt the play before, right? The pitch before. So he was coming off the mound looking for the bunt, which again, why is it still, I don't know. There was a lot of stupid stuff yesterday but again, if this happens again today with the crowd and the flat and the no runs, I mean, you think I went off today?
Oh.
You think I went off today? Wait till you hear me tomorrow. Because organizationally, they've got to make some changes. They've got to make some changes. You cannot continue to spend this little on players. You just can't.
I'm sorry.
Not if you're serious about contending.
Yeah.
Which I don't think Stu has ever been. He's just about making money.
The numbers show it, and people continue to say, what a great story about the Rays not spending money. It's like, what if they did spend money? What if they spent over 15?
People act like
the 2003 Marlins, like they're poor. They don't have any money. Where did the revenue sharing go from the Yankees and the Red Sox?
Put $500 million into another account.
Right.
According to the lawsuit. He's got plenty of money.
Right.
He's going to get $900 million allegedly from come on, the dude, they have plenty of money. They've been making plenty of money. But when he said he was going to put back every penny he made into the team, that was a big effing lie and always has been.
Right.
So don't even get me started.
He's
organizationally
over and over again. That's the most consistent thing about Stu Sternberg.
Oh, but if you go watch the press conference a couple weeks ago, he's the greatest. He's the greatest thing that's ever happened to St. Pete, according to one of those Pinellas people.
Sheep. They're all sheep at this point. They bow down to a snake oil salesman at this juncture. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Hey, stadium. Woo, woo. Give me the bomb.
Yeah, how much did it cost you? And does it work?
Don't worry about that. Money, that's just tax. That's just bed tax money. That's from the tourists. We could just give that to anybody we want.
I want us to come up with a campaign, you and me both. And we have Stu sign a contract to where if you get your new stadium and you bend over Pinellas County for all this public money, you have to be competitive for the lifetime of that stadium contract. No question.
30 years. 30 years.
You violate those contract terms and you have to pay for it, my friend.
Yeah. And James then brings up a great statement here. If they build in St. Pete, what local ownership group would pay $2 billion to buy a team with a horrible stadium site? I don't know. And that's why the group that I know that wants to buy them does not want a stadium in St. Petersburg. Major League Baseball does not want a stadium in St. Petersburg. That's why I'm saying, folks, this is, they may have the votes and they may push it through another horrible deal like they did in Miami. Doesn't make it right. Doesn't make it right for baseball. Doesn't make it right for the baseball fans here. And yesterday was Exhibit A.
Yep.
So we'll see what happens today. All right. Big thanks to Nick Geddes, Leo Haggerty, who joined us today. Great job, Peter Blake.
Thank you.
Happy birthday to you. Hopefully today's happier birthday. Change it to today, and maybe we can win.
Yeah, let's do it.
We will be watching with great interest today and commenting on social media. Please tell everybody about the show, the best 2 hours of independent, fan-based sports talk here in Tampa Bay. We'll bring it to you every day from 10 to 12. Please like us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, all them places. And have a great day, everybody.